All right, my favorite part of every live stream, the first 5 seconds when nobody's here. So, I'm gonna wait for people to get in this thing. I gotta pull up the video so I can talk to you guys or see you guys. How do I have a thumbs up and nobody's here yet? Hey Tanner, what's going on, man? What's up, Exotic? Exotic? The chats are different on my thing. So, holy crap, we got 19 people already. Jesus, that is literally, I just want to commend you guys already. What's up, Donald Trump? You guys have already freaking, like, broken my record for the amount of people who've joined in, like, it's been less than a minute. And I'm like, what? Alright. Do I like pie or cake better? I like cake better. What's up, Renal Prasad? That's I probably just did horrible at your name. I did horribles, but I just got back from the gym, guys, and so I'm having a little a protein shake right now, and I figured I need to do a live stream. I missed the live stream last week because I've been ridiculously busy, and that's kind of the title of this video is All Good Things Take Time. I'm working really hard at a lot of things in my life right now. One of them including YouTube, and just the fact that a lot of good things take time, I think is a little bit motivational. And for all you guys who are about to join basic training and you're trying to physically prepare and you're trying to get ready, just know that things take time, and you know, you'll be okay. So, y'all are killing me with the messages already. All right. I was the first person. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Pretty sure I got the first like. Yeah, y'all are killing me on the likes. We got 13 likes and there's 10 people watching. I guess some people clicked off. Guess what? I got a self-harm waiver shipping in December. That is awesome. Congratulations. But what is a self-harm waiver? You can fill me in on the comments down there because I am not 100% sure. Well, I gotta fix that. When I commission, am I going active duty? No, I'm gonna stay reserves. Actually, I just got, I think it was last week. Yeah, last week. What happens when you're doing ROTC? The fall semester before you graduate. So I'm graduating this May, and I'll commission as a second lieutenant this May. But the fall semester before, you find out which component you're getting, which is Army Reserves, National Guard, or active duty. I got Army Reserves because that's what I wanted because I'm already in the Army Reserves. And I think it was too late for me to try to get active duty anyways, because active duty is really competitive, and I hadn't done ROTC for the whole entire 4 years, so I hadn't built up everything you need to build up. So going to active duty is pretty competitive. But I don't find out the actual branch I'm getting, like the job I have, until this November. So last week I found out which branch I got, which is Army Reserves. Then November I find out which, I think I said it backwards, but November I find out what my job will be. Leslie, your videos are lit. Thank you. I think I just broke something. Whoa. That's kind of funny. All right. Bro, I want to join, but overweight. Gotta work on that. Yeah, man, like, I've seen people, one of the most motivating guys that I ever met at basic training, it wasn't even the fact that he was like a motivational person, but it was the fact that everything he went through to get to basic training. You know, he weighed like 350 pounds, and he got his weight down. He could barely do any push-ups. I mean, just a couple. And he's one of these guys I talked about before in a recent video where your feet will bleed through your boots, and his toes would bleed, his heels would bleed. He's had the worst blisters and feet injuries I've ever seen. And so I'm going through basic training and I'm like, man, this freaking sucks. Like, I don't, like, these ruck marches suck. I hate ruck marching. But this guy who has lost like freaking 150 pounds, he couldn't do any push-ups, and now he's passing basic training. His feet are basically falling off of his body, and he's still pushing through it, and that really motivated me. So just knowing that you guys can make it through basic training, like no matter what kind of shape you're in, if you push yourself hard enough, you can make it. What did you hit at the gym? I hit arms. That's something I really want to improve on this year, is my biceps, basically, because I never really worked them that much before whenever I first started working out, because your biceps really don't help you that much in sports or really anything, right? The only thing I can think about that they help in sports is like if you're a running back in football and you're holding on to the football, like you use your bicep to squeeze things and pull close to you, so you don't really use your biceps that much. So that's one of the reasons why my triceps are so much stronger than my biceps relative to each other's strength, and that's because basically, I didn't work them out that much. Do you like Nava the Beast? Yeah, I think he's pretty cool. I don't watch a whole bunch of like other YouTube vloggers. Really, the only person I watch that regularly is Nick Bear. He just got out of the Army as a infantry officer. He went to Ranger School. He's basically goals as far as physical fitness goes. He just did the 150-mile ruck march for the Houston. And I know the lighting's horrible right now. I'm gonna shut the blinds because it's starting to the sun's going down, and yeah, it's throwing off the lighting. So let's do this. Is that better? Okay. But yeah, I like Nick Bear. But anyways, Zachary Loss has been watching your videos for a while now. They have really put my mind at ease. I'm going to Benning in about a month for 19 Delta OSET or OSIT, one station unit training. That's awesome. Like, it really kind of makes me happy. Like when some of you guys are like, "Oh, I've been watching your videos for the past couple months." Like, I'm just like, "Whoa, really?" Like, that makes me feel really good. What are your bench, squat, and deadlift PRs? My most recent bench, squat, and deadlift PRs are bench was 330 pounds, squat was 375, and then deadlift was 450. And that's my recent those big three PRs. My next goals are to hit for this bulking cycle. I want to hit 350 on bench press. I want to hit 400 on squat. I also want to do 500 on deadlift. So that's my goals. Yesterday, my cousin died during combat. Are you serious? I'm sorry to hear that. Like, that sucks. I probably shouldn't even announce that on the thing, but yeah, I feel for you, bro. My little brother, my brother James, who I did a video with on Airborne School, Fort Jackson Basic Training, and 13 Fox AIT. I can talk about this now. I might have mentioned it before, but I didn't talk about it before because the whole OPSEC thing where you're not supposed to talk about certain things. But he just got deployed to Afghanistan, and the last I heard from him, we were talking on Snapchat, and they were preparing to do a mission. And he's 13 Fox, so he's the guy. He calls in artillery and stuff like that. So I haven't heard from him in about a week and a half or so. So he could be very well doing some stuff right now. So I feel for you. Know where people are likely to get deployed. Well, like I just said, my brother, he just got deployed to Afghanistan, so we're still doing stuff over there rather than what people think that we're not. We're still over there doing a lot of stuff, but most likely, honestly, if you're going to get deployed, you're going to get deployed to Kuwait or Korea. It's probably like a 75% chance it's just one of those two places. So I'm going to the Army, 68 WISC, combat medic specialist. Any voluntary things I could do to up my chance to make it to RASP? So I'm assuming you don't have RASP in your contract, which means you're going to have to at some point impress your unit enough to try to have them pay for you to go to RASP. So basically, to go to airborne school, like, it's difficult. You got to have a slot in your unit to do that. But to go to be a ranger, you have to be, if you don't have it in your initial contract, you have to be the best of the best. So if you're not maxing out your PT score, if you have some kind of disciplinary issues, if your commander, if your first sergeant, if they don't know who you are, if your chain of command, they don't know you, it's going to be real difficult. Let me adjust this. It's going to be real difficult to go to ranger school and get RASP and all that stuff, because, you know, those are really, you got to be good to actually do that. You know, a lot of people get, oh, I'm option 40, I got option 40 contract. A lot of you guys probably have option 40 contracts, but you don't realize that like 80% of y'all are going to quit rangers because it's just difficult and whatnot. So, message restricted. Akeem, you got a message restricted. I don't know what it was. Basically, if you have curse words in the stuff, it will take it down. Have you ever had 3 or 4 drill sergeants going at you? No. Honestly, the worst I had yelling at me. Well, I got really in trouble one time at basic training. But aside from the shark attack, I never had multiple drill sergeants, you know, yelling at me at one time. There's 2 instances where I had to come up to multiple drill sergeants, and that is sketchy, guys. So right now, you don't quite understand what it's like to be a private in the Army talking to a drill sergeant, and it's rather stressful. Like, you're, depending on the drill sergeants you have, obviously, but it's kind of stressful when you're talking to them. And I remember one time I had to go and ask them a question, and it was during, I think, lunch or dinner in the actual DFAC, and me and my buddy, we were like, okay, we're kind of like prepping each other up. We're like, all right, we gotta go do this. We're gonna go talk to drill sergeant such and such, and he's like really, really strict on everything, and we're just like, okay, how are we gonna do this? Gotta make sure you do everything right. You don't just go to parade rest. You gotta go to attention first and then parade rest, and you gotta be a certain distance away from the drill sergeant. And so I go and I walk up to the drill sergeant and ask him a question, and it was basically for getting food for somebody else. And, you know, he's like, what are you doing? Back away. He's like, freaking get away from me, blah, blah, blah. And he starts getting on to me. And then another drill sergeant, there was like 4 of them sitting there, and they all just they're kind of joking around and, like, you know, harping on me and stuff. But that's kind of that. But the worst I ever got in trouble was by my head drill sergeant when I forgot to call something up on fire guard, and he was pissed. And basically because of me and the other guy I was on fire guard duty or CQ duty with, he basically, they woke everybody up in the middle of the night. It was about 1 or 2 in the morning, and they all got smoked for like a couple hours while I was still doing CQ duty. So I missed the entire smoking, and whenever I got up to finish my duties, like, they were just finishing, and everybody was in like the front leaning rest position, and I was like, crap. But yeah, that's a pretty long story, and it's a story for another day. But yeah, I basically got everybody in my platoon smoked just for doing something simple. What's up, shoot 'em up. All right, so Akeem, past my second opinion IGs and now just waiting to pick my MOS. Should I be cool since the first fiscal year is here? Yeah, so I mean, October 1st, I believe, is when the new fiscal year. Some lag problems. I'm not seeing any lag problems. Let me know if there's any lag problems for you guys right now. But anyways, yeah, like the first fiscal year is coming up, so that's when, I don't have lag, okay. So that's when basically the United States government, Congress, they say, okay, here's all the jobs that we need, here's all the money that we're going to allocate for bonuses for this, that MOS. So you're more likely to get a bonus now, but I believe it's October 1st is when the fiscal year starts, but I honestly am not 100% sure. So, but anyways, yeah, I think you should be good. Just wait until the fiscal year. What do you think about being an M1 armored crewman? I think it'd be a pretty cool. I think it'd be a pretty cool job, honestly. Tips on improving my bench press. Yeah. one of the things that people don't do when they're trying to improve a certain, muscle group is to work on all the accessory muscle groups. So if I'm trying to work on my bench press, which you think is mostly your chest, you got to consider that you're going to be working your shoulders, you're going to be working your triceps, and if you're doing bench press correctly, you're also going to be working your lats, right? So this muscle right here, when you're arching your back, you're actually using your lat muscles, which is your back, to help push the weight forward. So number one, if you want to increase your bench press max, I could help every single one of you increase your bench by like 20-25 pounds in like 2 weeks just by me helping you with your form and doing a couple workouts. But I've done it multiple times to multiple people. But form is a huge thing. It's a huge thing on bench press to get your form correct, and then work your accessory muscle groups. So if you're killing your chest and it's not getting any bigger, or your bench isn't getting any better, then work on all the accessory groups. So, your shoulders, your triceps and whatnot. My weak point is my shoulders because of shoulder injuries I've had in the past. So when I see my bench press go up the most is when I start working my shoulders more. So anyways, would you ever do a packing video for basic training? I have mentioned what to bring to basic training a couple of times, and you don't really bring much. So I may or may not. I'll have to look back at basically what I talked about when I have talked about what to pack. Because I have made a video talking about what to bring to basic training. I'm pretty sure. Right now, guys, I got 37 people here. I didn't even notice that. 38 people here and 21 thumbs up. Like the first like 15 people thumbs up. Like, what the heck? All you guys are killing me. But anyways, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, so anyways, I'm at the point right now where I'm starting to make a whole bunch of videos, and I'm starting to forget some of the earlier videos that what I've talked about, or in one video I might talk about multiple things, and sometimes I can't remember what I've covered. So yeah, and I've only been doing this for like a few months, so if I do this for like another year or two, it's gonna get real bad. They give you PTs the first day. Yeah, when you get to reception at basic training, they're going to give you your PTs first. You're not going to get your actual ACUs, your OCP uniform. You're not going to get that first. You're going to get that like in the next couple of days. You'll get your PTs first, and that's what you'll wear as you're going throughout reception. Yeah, the fiscal year is next month. My sergeant turned in the good news on the 20th of this month, but the MEPS here is slow. But he said 1 through 3 weeks, so I'm cool. We'll keep you updated. Yeah, I love it when you guys keep me updated on your progress. Some of you guys, I've seen you guys go from saying, oh, I'm leaving in like 3 months, I'm leaving in 2 months, I'm leaving in 1 month, I'm leaving in now a couple of days, and that's really cool for me to know that I'm kind of helping you guys a little bit along the path and helping prepare you guys, and it's really cool. And I've even seen people who have graduated basic training and came back and commented on a video or send me messages and stuff, and that's really nice. All right, Benjamin Colbert. All right, so he said in video he didn't go SF because you didn't like Obama as president. Now that we have someone else community submitting an SF packet. No, the reason I didn't go SF was not because of Obama. It's kind of stupid looking back on it now, and I wish I would have joined back then. But the reason I didn't join, period, was because I was really on the fence, and there was two things, right? There was, I told my parents and everybody, I was like, okay, I've gone through everything, and my recruiter, I'm ready to go to MEPS and everything to be 18 X-ray, which is Special Forces, and I was a little bit nervous about this whole Special Forces thing, just because it was, active duty. I didn't know if I was going to like the military or not, and again, there's really nothing online about the military at the time, and I told my dad, I was like, well, basically, if Obama gets elected, then I won't do it. If he doesn't, then I will. And that was it was basically a coin toss, right? Not something great to do with big life decisions, but it was basically a coin toss. Another big thing, even though Obama did get reelected, like right after I had met my past girlfriend, this was like 4.5 years ago. We just broke up, but yeah, so I had met her, and she didn't want the whole military life kind of thing, and that was another deterrent. But then at the time, I didn't know about the Army Reserve, so kind of best of both worlds kind of thing. Anyways, all right. Thanks for doing what you're doing. My biggest question has to do with what are you not allowed to do in the military? I don't mean to refer to drugs and like, but because nobody should be. Okay. What are you not allowed to do in the military? Well, I mean, you can't do anything bad. Like, there's a lot of rules, and it's a pretty vague question as far as what are you allowed to do. Like, you know, you can't break the law. You know, you can't date people who are in your rank. Now, another misconception people have, I could have made this in my 5 myths video, but you can't date somebody else in the military or somebody like in your company or something like that, and that's not true. You just can't date somebody in your chain of command, right? So if I'm an E4 and I'm a sergeant, and there's an E6 sergeant who's above me, so they're in charge of me, I can't be in a relationship with that person. But somebody else who I have no authority over, or they have no authority over me, you can be in a relationship with them. But I mean, that's something that you're not allowed to do. I'm getting a lot of questions, so a lot of questions. All right, so wish my reserve unit had airborne. I know, like, airborne things, like if they don't have a slot, they don't have a slot. I mean, sometimes they might get a workaround for it, but you know, I'm referring to things. Don't walk on the grass or go in this building. Walk without a purpose in mind. I'm having trouble wrapping my mind around that, because you're nailing it on the head. You're like, you know, you're not supposed to walk on the grass because, you know, it's Sergeant Major's grass and it just kills the grass. And think about it. If you think about it, if you're marching a whole platoon or a whole company across the grass, you just kill it. So they want the base to look good. They want everything to look good. So don't walk on the grass. Anyways. If you don't ever want to kill anybody, should you stay away from the Army? No and yes. That's an interesting question. So, like, if you don't want to ever kill anybody, then you should stay away from the military in general, right? I mean, every single branch of the military has potential, whether you're killing somebody directly with a weapon, like a direct fire weapon, or an indirect fire weapon, like a missile. You know, maybe you're in the Air Force and you're flying a UAV, or maybe you're in the Navy and you're shooting, you know, a submarine missile or something like that. You know, pretty much every military branch has the potential to kill somebody. So I would stay away from all of them, because you never know if you're put in that situation. And you hesitate, guess who's going to end up dying? All right. Can you explain your MOS and what you do on a daily basis? And if you choose a combat MOS but not an infantryman, where will you get deployed? All right. Well, all MOSs can really get deployed to the same places, but my MOS was 25 Bravo, which is an IT specialist. Okay, information technology specialist. I think they actually renamed it to something else. But whenever I joined, 25 Bravo was information technology specialist. That is the MOS that I wanted, and it is the MOS that I got. And basically what that is, your main responsibilities is to set up and maintain the networks for communication. So so let's say you're moving out to a FOB, forward operating base, and that is basically you're real close to the enemy, and you're kind of just you got your main base post, and then you have a little smaller FOB out of the main post, and you're setting up a new FOB. Well, the first thing that happens is you have to set up communication. You have to set up comms, you have to set up internet, you have to set up telephones and all that stuff, and that is essentially the 25 series job. Now the 25 Bravo's job has to do more with the network. Okay, so you might have 125 series job that sets up the radios, the satellites, the whatever, and then 25 Bravo's job is to connect them all, to get them all to communicate, and that's kind of your job. Now, on a daily basis, honestly, it's not going to be that much work, okay? So once that's done, that initial stuff is done, you're kind of just maintaining the network. A lot of times you're kind of just like the little computer technician guy where somebody's got somebody's got a problem with their internet on the computer. You know, your commander, your first sergeant, you know, you're a general or somebody, they're like, oh crap, the internet's not working on my thing, you know, send me a 25 Bravo so you can help me out with this thing so I can get the internet working again, or my computer's not printing to this printer. You know, you're going to be kind of like that tech guy who just comes and fixes a computer, or there's some kind of issue with that, and that's kind of what your day is going to be like on a daily basis. Everything else on a daily basis is going to be like a normal military thing, but for your job, you know, initially you got to set up the network if you go to a place like that and maintain it, but then on the side, like most of your time, you're just going to be doing like little maintenance calls, I guess, which is why you need to know a good bit about computers for the training. Difference between Ranger and Ranger Regiment. Okay, so there's a big difference between Rangers and being a part of the 75th Ranger Regiment, but they're both Rangers. So the main difference here is one is Ranger School, the other you're going to go to RASP, the Ranger Assessment and Selection Program, or process, whatever, to be in the 75th Ranger Regiment, which is a battalion of, or a brigade of 3 different battalions. By the way, this cinnamon roll protein is super good. But anyways, Ranger School is a leadership school, okay? Ranger School is a leadership school. The 75th Ranger Regiment is a group of people who, like, think of them all as being like infantry guys. Think of they're the guys who, you know, really clear out an area. You send in the Rangers when you want to go and take over, you know, a certain, you know, town. You want to send in the Rangers and all the other accompanying MOSs that accompany the Ranger Regiment. It's not just infantry, it's all other MOSs. There's like 60 or 70 MOSs. But yeah, so like they are the guys that really kind of do stuff. They're like a step below Special Forces, if you want to think of it that way. Ranger School, you're still a Ranger technically. You get the Ranger tab, but you don't have the Ranger scroll. The Ranger scroll is the 75th Ranger Regiment. The Ranger tab is the school. It is a leadership school where it's really tough. So what they tried to do for us this past summer for the advanced camp, they're trying to make it basically a watered down version of Ranger School, and it was tough. It was just a month long, but they're going to test you at Ranger School platoon operations and being able to lead a platoon, and basically that's all it is the leadership school. And that, I mean, that's kind of the difference. So you go to Ranger School, you're technically a Ranger, you have the Ranger tab, but you're not in the 75th Ranger Regiment. So I don't really know how to explain it much more, because I know a lot of people don't know a lot about a certain few things, but yeah, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. Just because you have a Ranger tab does not mean that you're in the 75th Ranger Regiment. Anyways, I went on that too long, I think. Gosh, I'm getting a lot of, it's hard to answer all these questions. So something that a lot of people do is like the super chat thing. I don't want to make y'all do this. You could, you know, do $1 or something, but it's hard for me to get all these questions in, because I'll answer a question and then freaking you guys just ask multiple. Okay, if you go to basic with no physical fitness at all, will I fail? You will only fail if you don't put in the effort to, you know, pass. Also, I have an interview with the company commander on Tuesday from my dependency waiver. What kind of questions do you think he or she will ask me? Honestly, Kelly Land, I have no clue, but I would not be worried. All right, ooh, y'all just did a couple things. What's your opinion? What is your opinion? Should I join the Army or Air Force and be a firefighter, or should I just stay and be a civilian firefighter in my country? Well, you could do both. You could be in the Army Reserves or the National Guard, or you could be in the Air Force National Guard, or Reserves. Or no, the Air Force Reserves, Air National Guard. It's confusing to me sometimes. But yeah, I mean, you could do both. You could do that and be a firefighter. Okay. All right. How soon can you take the ASVAB? You can. All right. That's, man, vague questions. Okay, so how soon can you take the ASVAB? Basically, if you want to go to MEPS to take the ASVAB, you'll talk to your recruiter, and there's a couple of days during the week. I think 3 days a week they will take people in to take the ASVAB. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, so you just talk to your recruiter, and that at earliest probably just next week. Just think about it next week. What route should be taken to get to general? So yeah, if you want to be a general in the United States Army, you have to dedicate your life to that, pretty much. One of the reasons being is to make it to colonel. So just real quick, the rank structure for an officer is second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, major, lieutenant colonel, colonel, and then you got all the generals. Be my little general, brigadier general, major general, lieutenant general, and 4-star general. Then you have the 5-star general during war times. But basically, when you're an officer, you have to complete all these tasks in order to rank up to the next level, in order to be promotable. So if you want to go make it to the rank of major, you have to be, you know, a company commander for a couple of years. You have to be, you know, a platoon leader for a few years, or for a year or so, like that. And you have these certain requirements that you have to fulfill, and you have to be in that position for a certain amount of time. Now, to make it to lieutenant colonel, it's the same thing. Like, you have to be a battalion XO for, you know, 3 or 4 years. You have to be, you know, you have to have this job for a couple of years. So to make it to lieutenant colonel, you got all these things you have to do. And the real problem here is to make it to colonel, which is the rank after lieutenant colonel. There's like a whole nother list of things that you have to do just in addition to everything you had to do before. So it's really, it takes a lot of time to do that. So you can make it to lieutenant colonel without doing all these little extra things, but if you want to make it to the rank of colonel, you got to dedicate your military career to, I got to do this for 2 years, I got to do this for 3 years, I got to do this for 2 years, I got to do this for 4 years, I got to do this and that and the other, and that's that. And then once you make it to colonel, you got some other things you got to do, and then you have to, Congress has to approve you becoming a general. So there is literally a path to becoming a colonel. There is a path to becoming a general, but you have to dedicate your entire military career to it. Like, to make it to lieutenant colonel, you can kind of just do it. But to make it to general, you got to really put in the work, man. What do you like Drip 46? I don't know. I've only seen like his main video on his channel. I haven't really watched any of them. So, and I don't think he uploads stuff anymore from what I see, from what I hear. So I don't know. I don't know. All right. Francesco Diaz, your message is restricted, just so you know. What's popular opinion on MPs? Are they liked, disliked, not cared about? I would say popular opinion on an MP is that they are disliked. So basically, a lot of them are not. I wouldn't say a lot. I mean, if you think about like cops nowadays, you know, there might be one bad apple in the whole group, and then they all get a bad reputation for it. I feel like that's kind of like the way MPs are. But I've had 2 experiences with MPs, 2 different MPs, and they were both douchebags. So that's that. But at the same time, my little brother is currently about to try and become an MP, and he's not a douchebag. So it just, you know, depends on the person, you know. But I would say overall opinion, they're just like, you know, you got cops and you got military cops, and they're pretty strict. Like, you know, they're yelling at me for walking and eating at the same time. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Seriously? So anyways, all right, for a great low rate, you can get online and go to the journal. Haha, that's funny. All right, let's see here. Oh my gosh, I'm missing some of the. I feel like I've missed some of your questions. So if I miss something, you can ask it again. If I take the ASVAB, I'm not obligated to sign a contract afterwards. Yeah, that's true. So if you take the ASVAB, you're just taking the ASVAB to see what you score, blah, 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 blah. You do not have to sign a contract if you take an ASVAB. You don't have to do that. I hope nobody's told you that you did. Whoa. What? Oh, I missed something? What flag is that in the back? It's just a, you know, black and white flag. It kind of fits the theme of my apartment, you know, black and white stuff. Hi, how good are the health benefits? Well, if you're active duty, the health benefits are awesome because, you know, like everything's, you know, paid for and all that crap. If you're in the Army Reserves or the National Guard, you know, there's TRICARE and all the other health insurance stuff. Like, it's just like everything is way cheaper. It's way cheaper. So I'm 24 right now. Technically, I'm still on my parents' thing because you can be on it until you're 26. So when I turn 26, I'll still be in the military, and you know, it's just ridiculously cheaper than if you're a civilian. By me, all right. So Akeem, by me starting off as an E3, what can I expect my pay to be? Also, what type of responsibilities will I have? Okay, when I was an E3, my pay was $695 and then $704 after taxes every 2 weeks. So one check a month was $695. The other check was about $704, and that was 2 years ago. And every year they bump it up just a little bit, like, you know, 1% or something. So, you know, you're looking at, you know, $710, $720 or so for your every other day check. So about $1,400 after taxes a month for E3 active duty pay. And that is just the base pay. So like when you get deployed, you actually get a lot more money for stuff. So you get, you know, hazard duty pay. You can get separation pay from your family and all that stuff. So anyways, I already answered the Drip 46 thing. But yeah, when you get deployed, you can make some real money. When you were a 25 Bravo, did you have to learn how to program? No. You only program like switches and routers, and you just, you know, basically tell this IP address to go to this IP address, and that there's this route that the packet has to go from this switch to send to this router, to send to this router, to send to this router to get to the destination that you want to go. So you're not really programming it, but you're programming the switches and routers. But programming as far as like in my opinion, like programming, like writing code, it does not, you don't do that at all. Not even close. What are your thoughts on NFL players kneeling during the national anthem? I actually wanted to make a video on this. I wanted to make a video on this, but I didn't want to get real political or anything. I didn't want to I don't know. I just don't think, like, anytime a YouTuber makes some kind of comment about political stuff, it is not good. But basically, I'm not for it at all. I know people are like, oh, you know, I just don't like it. People, the thing that gets me with this whole flag or kneeling during the national anthem thing is that like for me, I feel like it's disrespectful. Some people don't feel it's disrespectful, and I don't understand how you can feel that way. People are like, oh, well, they have the freedom to do it. Well, it's like, well, yeah, you have the freedom to burn the flag, but in my opinion, them kneeling during the national anthem, and there's, you know, soldiers singing the national anthem. Everybody's, you know, they're pulling the flag out, everything, and you're kneeling. You're not paying any attention. You're doing it on purpose to disrespect the national anthem because you think it's oppressive, I think it's disrespectful. And I just think what their cause is fine. But personally, I think they should definitely do something different. And I know people are like, oh, well, you know, they're peacefully protesting, but like, protest something else, please. Or protest, like, don't do the national anthem thing. But yeah, like, it upsets me just because, like, there's like, you know, let's say there's like, you know, 1 out of freaking 1,000 soldiers who are like, oh yeah, it's okay, you know, that's what we fight for them to be able to do that. But the other 99% of people in the military are not okay with it, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, most people in the military are not okay with them doing that, and that kind of just shows like that one Steelers player who was a Ranger in the 75th Ranger Regiment, and how his whole team was inside in the locker room, and then who's the only person in the military who, out of basically like anybody there, or out of anybody there, he shows that like, hey guys, we need to respect this. We don't need to be, you know, taking ourselves out of the situation. And I think that speaks for the entire military, in my opinion, not just that 1 or 2 guys who are just like, oh yeah, you know, it's okay. I think the vast majority of military members agree that it's something to protest, but that you should probably go about it a different way. Anyways, that was my little thing. A friend of mine says the gas chamber is dangerous and could lead to death. What's your thoughts on it? I don't think that's true. Whenever I did the gas chamber, my gas mask wasn't working, but I didn't want to tell the drill sergeant that it wasn't working, so I was basically breathing in the gas the whole time. But yeah, I mean, if you slept in there or something, like, you would eventually probably have real big issues. But, you know, honestly, the gas chamber is not as bad as it seems. It's just not. So you're going to go into the gas chamber, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, you know, you're going to feel the burning on your neck and all that stuff. But then you're going to do it, and it's going to be over just like that. And you're going to be like, oh, that wasn't that bad. So, all right. So, anyways, I got 25 Bravo Airborne. I finished basic a week before Christmas. Oh, lucky you. You don't have to do that whole block. Actually, you do have to do block leave for AIT. How will leave work? Will I have the 10 days and Christmas break? Also, can you tell about what checking into AIT was like and how you get there? Okay, so since you're 25 Bravo, you're going to go to like the same place as me. Since you're graduating 10 days or a week before Christmas break, or you said you're graduating a week before Christmas. So you are basically, that's going to be interesting. You are basically going to graduate basic training, show up to AIT, and then the next day you're going to leave and go home for block leave. If I'm reading this correctly, because if you graduate a week before Christmas, that would be the 18th. And in the past, block leave starts on December 18th. So I'm not 100% sure how that works, but yeah, you're gonna have to go to block leave. But as far as checking in AIT and how it's gonna work, you're gonna get there, and basically you're gonna lay out all of your stuff. Okay, so you're gonna get everything that was in your bags that you packed up at basic training, and you're gonna lay it all out. And they're gonna take inventory of everything that you have. You have, you know, make sure you have your iPro, make sure you have all the uniforms you have and all that stuff. You're gonna lay everything out. They're gonna show you where your room is. And you're going to do a little bit more in-processing stuff and filling out paperwork and everything like that. But that's about it. Like, it only takes a couple hours to get through the whole in-processing thing. So that's not bad. And once you get to AIT, it's a whole other world. So, or it's not a whole other world. It's just like, it's a lot different than basic training was. So everybody will notice you as like, oh, this guy's straight out of basic training. Not only will they tell by the haircut, but yeah, you're gonna be looking around people like, what the heck? Like, I couldn't do that just a week ago when I was at basic. But anyways, the kneeling isn't even creating any talk about the issue. It's just reporters asking, are you kneeling? Why are you kneeling? What do you think of kneeling? It's dumb. Yeah, like, I think that, like, they're silently protesting. I'm sorry to talk about this again, but they're silently protesting. But in my opinion, if they're worried about oppression and all this stuff, like, they have a lot of money and they have a lot of influence. They can set up meetings with governments, and they could do a lot of stuff. But in my opinion, the amount of controversy that they're stirring up due to the kneeling during the national anthem is far outweighing in the negative of the controversy than what they're trying to accomplish. So, like, what they're doing is bringing some awareness to it, but it's bringing more awareness to the controversy of what they're doing. And that's kind of like a backwards way of doing things. Like, if I'm trying to get something, if I'm trying to get my point across to you, I'm not going to do something where half of the country or more thinks is wrong. So that's the way I look at it. And you're kind of right. Like, you don't do something controversial to get a point across, if that's what I'm saying. Like, even if it is right, I mean, I'm not like the end all be all, but like, even if it is the right thing to do, the fact that so many people think it's the wrong thing to do, it just, anyways. What is the minimum weight you can wait to join the Army? I don't know. It depends on your height. There's a scale, you can look it up, for a maximum and minimum height for or a maximum and minimum weight for your height. So there's a chart for that. So depending on how tall you are, you'll have a higher minimum weight, if that makes sense. So you can weigh more if you're taller, and then if you're really short, you'll have a lower minimum weight. But I'm pretty sure the minimum is 120 pounds. Pretty sure. That's a sick shirt. Where did you get it? It's an Affliction shirt. I got it at Buckle. At the mall. There's a mall over here. I got it at Buckle. Anyways, how different will my AIT be from basic training? I'm going MP. Everybody's AIT is going to be really different than basic training. Like, it's so different from basic training, like, you don't even realize. So right now, all of you guys, you're like, okay, I'll leave for basic training in a week, 2 weeks, whatever. You're thinking, you've watched my videos, and I'm trying to prepare you guys for basic training, right? Well, you haven't experienced it yet. You don't understand. When I say that basic training, and really the military in general, but basic training, it's another world. It's like you are literally going to go to another world. It's hard to describe what's that like if you've never been there before. So I can talk to somebody else who's been to basic training. We can talk about things, and we can understand what we're coming from. But if I'm trying to explain stuff to you, it's really difficult because y'all you don't understand the world, right? Now, that's basic training. When you get to AIT, it's still the military, but it's a lot more relaxed than basic training. You're not going to have drill sergeants yelling in your face, or drill instructors or whatever yelling in your face all the time. Now, they're still going to be stricter. You're still going to have to do formations and marching and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just like everybody's just going to be laid back. You're going to have free time at the end of the day. You're going to have your phones. You're going to have your computers. You're going to get to chill on the weekends. You could possibly get to go off post. So it's just so different than basic training. But basic training itself is just like, there's nothing like basic training. There's nothing like it. Like, if you were to go, because it's just the mindset you're in, because they brainwash you, but it's not like, oh, they brainwash you, it's a horrible thing or whatever. Like, it's just the environment that you're in and how you have no control over what you're doing, where you're going to go. You have no control over anything. The drill sergeants are in control of everything. And just the mindset of you being there in that situation just makes it so different. So, like, if you were to go right now and just watch a basic training company, you were just going to go visit them, you would see it and you'd be like, oh, okay, it doesn't look that bad. But it's because you're not in the situation. You're not, one of those privates who are there. Because it's just different, man. Anyways. Do you think the shots they give you during reception are bad for you? Please answer this question. No. I don't think the shots that they give you are bad for you. I actually looked at my immunizations the other day. Once you, at first, like, so when you get to reception, they're just going to start pricking you with needles, and they're going to give you shot and shot and shot. They're going to give you the peanut butter shot, which is penicillin, I believe. So they're going to ask you, like, if you're allergic to penicillin, you're not going to get that shot. But, like, it's just, you know, the measles, mumps, and the MMR shot, the hepatitis A and B shot, some other stuff. Just, like, the basic things. They're not, like, you know, I don't think they're that bad. But something that I haven't really talked about that much is that you'll probably get sick at basic training in the first couple of weeks. And I don't, like, there's two causes to that. Number one is you're just getting so many shots, you know, your immune system is taking a hit because it's adapting to all that. The second thing is you got all these people from around the world, and yeah, around the world, because there's going to be people from different countries and stuff coming to your company, and you're going to be around these people in a very close area, and they're just from different places than you, therefore they're bringing different germs and things like that you're not accustomed to. So every one of you will get a really, you know, stuffy nose, you know, a sore throat, you might get pink eye, you might actually get sick, but yeah, anyways. How long is holdover between schools such as AIT, BAT, and RAS? Being a holdover is like being in limbo. You never know when it's going to end. You never know, you know, you just don't know. So that's a difficult question to ask. All right, I got so much paperwork to do for the Army recruiters. Yeah, when you join the military, there's a lot of that. You got a lot of paperwork to do, honestly. OSET sucked. Graduated yesterday. Can't wait for airborne school, but there will my first duty station. Where will my first duty station be? I'm 11 Bravo. If you're infantry and you're an 11 Bravo and you're airborne, you could very, very possibly be going to Fort Bragg. So I would say that would be your first duty station if I had to guess. Shipping out Monday, nervous, excited. So Monday is 2 days from now, so that's awesome. So awesome, excited for you. But yeah, like the couple days leading up to it, right? So I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you're about to leave for basic training. Leave a comment of how long it'll be until your ship out day to reception. I want to know that real quick. But yeah, so you're getting ready to leave for basic training, and you're a month out. You're a couple weeks out. You're like, oh man, you know, it's a couple weeks. You know, it's not very far away. Then you get to where this person's at. Where did their comment go? I can't remember. Oh, I lost the comment. All right, so no, Swag. Anyways, so you get a couple days out, and then it starts to really hit you. You're like, crap, like I'm about to go to basic training. Things are about to get crazy. Dang. And then you get to the day before, which for you is going to be tomorrow on Sunday. And I want, like, for you, 9 months, man, you got a while. 3 months, okay. October 17th coming up soon, early November. Okay, so, like, the day before basic training, you guys, what I really want y'all to do is just, like, to look around. And when you go to the bathroom, when you go and grab something to eat, when you drive your car, just think that all of those privileges are going to be taken away from you the next day. And that kind of just hits you. And for me, I remember, you know, the night before, going to sleep the night before. Because for me, nobody in my family had joined the Army before. And now, you know, my little brother, he's in, and my two other little brothers, they're about to join. And so they kind of know that what it's going to kind of be like in a sense. But I didn't know, and so I was just like, man, like this is gonna be crazy. I had hung out with one of my friends, or I saw one of my friends the morning I was leaving, and it was just like, yeah, I had no clue what to expect. I had no clue what I was about to do. But yeah, that day before, it's kind of just trippy because you know this is your last day as a civilian. Interesting. It's a really interesting feeling when you're the day before. Anyways, good luck to you guys. Good luck to all of you. I'm proud of all of you. You guys are awesome. If you're watching these videos and these live streams, you're definitely more prepared than I was, for sure. I know I was physically prepared, but I did not know what the heck was about to happen. I did not know. And I've been looking at myself a little bit too much. I need to look at that camera again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Anyways. Can you see the chaplain during basic training? Yes. What do you think of the married couples program? I think it's something cool. I think it's like, that's good. The buddy system is cool. Which the buddy system, you can go to basic training and AIT and be in the same company as your friend. And then if you join the military with somebody you're married with, then you are guaranteed to be, I believe you're going to go through training together like the buddy system. And then once you get to your duty station, you're guaranteed to be either at the same post or at another post that's within like 30 minutes drive or something like that. So I think it's pretty cool. All right, so God, my jaw is killing me. I'm probably gonna. I got some stuff to do tonight, so I'm probably gonna cut this video off soon once I hit over an hour. Because right now I'm at 56 minutes and 20 seconds, and my jaw's been hurting me, so it kind of hurts talking this much. Anyways, but I'm doing it for y'all. I'm doing it. Anyways, all right. I missed a couple. Anybody else going 19 Delta? What do you know about the Army cryptologic linguist in the DLI? Not much at all. If I signed up for the National Guard, how soon after OSET can I claim my GI Bill? And if it is for community college, do you still get the same amount of money? Yeah, so no matter what school you go to, and you could be doing other schools besides, college, your GI Bill is going to be the same thing. And in the National Guard, you're going to have, the reserve or part-time component or whatever of the GI Bill. And you can sign up, like, as soon as you get back, if you do like I did, you get all the paperwork done, it's a lot more complicated than I thought because nobody knew the whole process. But anyways, you get back, you talk to your unit, you get all the paperwork signed, you communicate with your school, and then you have to submit an enrollment form through the VA. Then you have to go through your college and submit that form, and then you have to wait. And it usually will take probably 3 weeks to a month to get that approved. And then once that's approved, you have to wait until the first of the next month to actually verify your enrollment. So it could take up to 2 months or so to get your GI Bill, the first payment of it. If you really get on the ball, if you really get on it, then you should be able to do that. I know it took me 3 months to get my first payment for the GI Bill because nobody knew how to freaking get it. But I would not expect it, like, you're not going to get it like right after. Same thing with your bonus. My bonus took almost 5 months to get in after I had graduated AIT, because you get your bonus after AIT, but you still have to do all the paperwork and everything to get all that figured out. And that took about 5 months for me to get that first check. And when I got that first half of my bonus, which I got a $15,000 bonus after taxes, you get $6,000 for the first half. That was a nice little chunk of change right there. I'm just saying. But I invested it, if some of you guys know. I have a student loan to pay off, so what education benefits can I use to help pay off? Also, how long will it take to kick in since I will be active? So I believe if you want to go through the student loan repayment program, you have to either pick that or the GI Bill. Like, you can't have both. You can't get, $1,000 a month. I don't know the amount of money, but $1,000 a month for the student loan repayment program, and get, since you're active duty, $1,800 a month for school. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So you have to just pick one or the other, and whichever one you think will work out best for you. But yeah, I mean, how long will it take? Probably about the same thing. It's probably going to take a few months to go through that whole process because paperwork takes time. Then you have to submit all these forms, and they take weeks to approve. So when you get out of basic training, do you return back to a normal civilian or do you act like a soldier still? That's up to you, man. But anyways, so when you graduate from basic training, I want to make a video on this topic, which is kind of like when you start to feel like a soldier, and like when is it you're going through this process of basic training. I want to make a video on this, but you guys are about to get it here right now. But when you go through basic training, you get there at reception day 1, then you go through reception, you get to basic training, but at what point do you start to feel like you're a soldier? Okay, so you go through basic training, you pass red phase, and you're like, okay, I got through the suckiest part of basic training. You get to white phase, and you start shooting guns, and you're shooting the M4, you're shooting the 240, 249, whatever. You shoot the grenade launcher. Does that make you feel like a soldier? You're in uniform. All that stuff. You get the blue phase, you do the FTX, you're camping out in the woods. Does that make you feel like a soldier? And the answer, I think, is no, at least for me. The reason being is when you go to basic training, you're with all these other civilians. Okay, you show up on the bus, you get to reception, you watch this video, and for the moment there, you're all civilians. Okay, you're all civilians. You haven't been converted into soldiers yet. And then when you're going through this basic training process where they're breaking you down, they're changing you, they're breaking you down, they're changing your mindset, but they're changing everybody's mindset, okay? They're making everybody more, they're giving everybody having more, they're making everybody pay more attention to detail. They're making everybody be more, I don't know, responsive to orders and stuff like that, and to actually do things. So if I tell you to do something, and when you tell a civilian, they might not do it. Like, they might not do it right then. They might do it and just not do a good job. But when you're a soldier and your NCO or somebody tells you to do something, you do it right then. In my opinion, when you feel like a soldier, so you're saying like when you graduate basic training, like do you go back to being a civilian? Like, no, like when you're a soldier, you're a soldier, and I think it changes you for life. I think it changes your outlook on life. But the moment that you will feel like a soldier, in my opinion, and the moment I actually started to feel like a soldier was when I graduated basic training, and then I was around other civilians, and that was the thing for me. So I graduated basic training. You go to the mall, you go to whatever, you talk to your friends at home, and you just realize like you're not the same as them anymore. You're just not. There's something different about you that they don't have, that they don't understand, that these civilians just don't get. And that is when, in my opinion, you feel like a soldier, and it's when you get taken out of the military world, and then you put yourself around some other civilians, and then you realize that you're different, and that's kind of the thing for me. So, and then you'll kind of get back some of your civilian tendencies and stuff like that, but it won't be that bad. Like, you're still gonna have the mindset, you're still gonna be a soldier, and I don't think you'll ever go back to who you were before. But yeah, like, anyways. Yeah, that was a nice little rant, wasn't it? Or a little thing. But I want to make a video on that because it's kind of an interesting thing, right? It's interesting to think about when you're going to basic training and you're doing all this stuff, but it's just you think like when do you actually feel like you've changed? When do you actually feel like you are a soldier? And like I said, I think it's when that first time you're around other civilians. I think that's when it hits you. You're just like, man, these people they're not disciplined. They don't know. They're just not disciplined, man. But anyways, that's not the only thing about being a soldier is being disciplined. But anyways, should I join the Army before or after the Army? Makes no sense. I'm honestly really excited. Yeah, I mean, the military is awesome. By the way, I just want a little sub note here. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it already. I'm looking at you Jonathan. I don't know. If somebody's name is Jonathan, I just called you out. But anyways, that's kind of funny. Maybe whenever if I have more people watching this, I can call you guys out by name, and then I can just say a random name, Jonathan. So yeah, that totally worked out perfect right now. But anyways, yeah, basic training is really exciting. It's exciting. It's scary. Yeah, that was funny. Should I join the Army before or after college? In my opinion, you should join the Army before college. Like let's say you want to go active duty, but you want to do college, right? If you do active duty and you're wanting to get a 4-year degree, it's going to take you a long time. And by the time you actually get a chance to go to school, you're going to be a lot older. You're going to have a lot more responsibilities and things to do. So if you were to join the Army Reserves or the National Guard and then go through college, then you're going to have that time and service under your belt. You're going to have some of your college already paid for, which you wouldn't have if you waited to do college and then join active duty. So you're going to have some of your college paid for. You're going to have all that 4 years of time and service. And then you can just finish out that Reserve or National Guard contract and then re-up as an active duty soldier and then transition to be, or right after graduating, you can transition to be active duty. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You get that time and service that you get when you're in the Reserves and the National Guard when you're just going through those 4 years. So you'll make it to like sergeant or whatever. So you'll be way ahead of the game in the military if you, in my opinion, join the military first before college. And that's one thing I wish I would have done. Anyways, my AIT is about 20 weeks. Is that about normal? I'd say that's on the medium-ish side to the medium to longer side. Most people's AITs are going to be somewhere around like, 10 to 15 weeks or so. But the longer ones start to go from like 20 to 30 weeks, and you have the really long ones that are getting close to a year. But yeah, depends on your MOS. Ronald YouTube, your message is restricted. I'm trying. What are you guys typing that is getting your message restricted? What is it? Anyways, watch on YouTube Gaming. What is this sponsor thing? I got a notification or something like there's a sponsor. I don't know what this whole sponsor thing on YouTube is. I think it's just for gaming, but I'm not a gaming channel anymore. I made gaming videos like 6-7 years ago. But anyways, how much you know about ROTC scholarships? A little bit. There's different scholarships. If you're talking about the one that you get, like you can get a full ride from high school. So like if you did ROTC, JROTC in high school, you can get a full ride scholarship, and you'll have to contract and do all that stuff, because if you don't contract and you don't join the military and you get that scholarship, you're gonna have to pay all that money back that they gave you. So you should definitely go through with that. But so you can get like that basic scholarship, which is like a full ride, or some of your college paid for or whatever. But then you can get the GRFD scholarship, which is for the Army Reserves, and that basically you get money for school, right? And I think it's like $15,000. You get money for school, and then you get a guaranteed position in the Army Reserves, but you also have to do, I think, 2 more years. I think the baseline contract after you graduate as an officer is 4 years, but then if you get the GRFD scholarship, you have to do 6 years, so they kind of get their time and money back for that. But anyways, when you delete message, it says that. Okay. Anyways, Ronald YouTube, do you know anything about Airborne? I haven't been to Airborne school. My brother's been to Airborne school. If you want to check out that video, you should. I mean, you should pretty. If you Google or if you YouTube, what is Airborne school like? I believe my video will pop up there where we talked about that. But Airborne school is easy and it's hard at the same time. So you basically just jump out of a plane. I mean, there's nothing that you're going to be doing that's going to be difficult. I know people have talked about how there's a run that you do at the end of Airborne school, and that's just difficult. But in my opinion, the reason that's difficult for you or for these people is because they slacked off at AIT. Because at basic training, you're going to be in good shape. You're forced to work out. At AIT, you know, things are a little bit more relaxed. You know, when you do PT in the mornings, there's not somebody yelling at you to push it super duper hard. So like if you do a release run, you can kind of just jog real slow or, you know, whatnot. So like if you're in A group or alpha group or whatever, so like let's say you run under a 14-minute 2-mile run, but you're in AIT and you feel like running slow today, so you join Charlie group. And those guys run like, you know, 16 to 17-minute 2 miles, and you just kind of jog it out with them. So I think these people that struggle at airborne school for the run are just the people who slacked off at airborne school, and I think that's just plain and simple. They slacked off. Anyways, when you remove a comment so it actually says retracted. How do you get on the Army football team? I don't know. I don't know, but basically, if you were to try to go on any military, you know, sports team, basically you just gotta talk to your chain of command. So like, you're gonna talk to your first sergeant or your squad leader. Then you're gonna talk to your first sergeant. You're gonna say, "Hey, I'm really good at football. I played football in college. I played football in high school, and I was really good. I had all these scholarships to go to all these colleges, but I wanted to join the military and then potentially play for the Army football team." And that's something really cool. Like I mentioned, the Steelers NFL player who stood for the national anthem. That one guy, he was a Ranger, but he was also on I believe the Army football team. But basically, you just got to go through your chain of command. You're just gonna have to ask them, and eventually it'll reach somebody who can put you in that position to do that. As long as you're, you know, really good soldier. Do you think every man should serve his country? No, I do not think. I do not think everybody's fit to serve. I don't think that I could trust everybody to serve. I think that the people who volunteer are a different. You are a different breed of people. We, at some level, even if you're picking an MOS that isn't, you know, a fully combat MOS, at some level you're willing to sacrifice a piece of yourself for something bigger. And I think that makes all of you special. I think that makes everybody in the military special, and honestly better than a lot of people, because like I said, like, you are willing to give up a part of yourself for something bigger. Whether it's time in your life, whether that's, you know, sacrificing your arm in combat or whatever. But I think that there's some people that I just wouldn't want to be in the military. So no, I don't think everybody should serve. I don't think it should be a requirement, because like I said, like, I just don't think, like, if it's a requirement, just some people, they won't have the dedication. They're not doing it because they want to, like everybody, like all of you are. Anyways, shoot 'em up. You're the effing truth. Keep up the great work. Also, thanks for your time and advice. Yeah, thank you. Akeem, you're one of my guys. I know you by name, so just want to thank you for all of your, you know, support of me. Anyways, Ronald, YouTube, do you lift weights in basic training? No. If there is any weight, so you're not gonna hit the gym or anything, but there might be like kettlebells or something. My platoon, we didn't have any weights whatsoever. There were other platoons in my company that had kettlebells, and that's all they had. So you can't go to the gym, but you might get lucky and have a couple of weights. So anyways, was lane navigation easy for you? Yes, I think for me, lane navigation was easy. By the way, my lane navigation video that I want to do, I've got, so I found my protractor, and then I have the compass that you use. So this compass right here, this compass is the compass that every one of you are going to use. So anyways, I have all the stuff that I have this stuff, but I don't have the maps that I've used, and I can't find a map online that is like what you use in training. So I've been looking for my training map that I've used in the past, and I was just going to erase the stuff that I have, and I want to show you guys what it's actually going to look like. So like a legit map that you are probably going to get, like the exact same map, and I want to show you guys that. And so I'm looking for my I'm looking for that map. I don't know where it's at. It's probably in some of my stuff. But anyways, land navigation for me, I thought was pretty easy. And one of the things that makes it easier is to teach people stuff. So one of the ways that you can know that you know something is if you can successfully teach it to somebody and have them understand it, then you know you understand it and that you are good at it. And that's something that I did. So I understood the land navigation stuff. And when I was at basic, I taught, like, a lot of people didn't get it. A lot of people didn't understand it because they honestly don't do that great of a job teaching you. So I was teaching a whole lot of people, and by me teaching everybody, you know, how to plot points and this, that, and the other, by the time it came time for us to actually go out there and do it, it was real simple. And I did the first, we did, I think there was 5 points. I can't remember, but I think it was like 5 points, and you only had to get 3. And so what I did, because I took on, you go as a group at basic training, right? And I took on 3 of the worst people in my platoon at land nav. So I was a platoon leader, and what I did was the people who were the worst at land nav, I took them and put them in my group because I knew I was strong at land nav. And so while I was doing this, I was teaching them as we were going. And I found the first 3 points, and then the final 2 points I let them, and I taught them how to get that stuff. So for me, it wasn't difficult, but I know there is a lot of people who struggle with land nav. Thanks for all your advice. Thank you, guys. So I'm worried about the map reading part. Is it hard? To me, no, it's not hard. Like, there's a lot of things that you can get caught up on. There's a lot of things that you think you have to know. If I can find this crap. Let me see here. Oops, land nav. All right. So they're going to teach you. They're going to teach you the different colors. You probably can't read this, but they're going to teach you the different colors that you're going to have to know on the map, which is black, red, brown, blue, green. Basically what they represent. There's brown and then there's red. So there's red, brown, and red. And then you're going to learn the terrain features. And basically right here I drew a sketch of everything. And this is my notebook from basic training. For those of you who don't know, I took notes, or I wrote down what we did every single day at basic. And then this is my notebook from basic training. So this is gold right here, guys. But yeah, you're going to learn the 5 major terrain features, which is a hill, valley, ridge, saddle, depression. So one of the ways you can remember the 5 major terrain features is the acronym Hidden Valley Ranch salad dressing. Hidden Valley Ranch salad dressing. And that is one of the ways you can remember hill, valley, ridge, saddle, depression. And then there's the minor terrain features and the supplementary terrain features. So like those help a lot. So when you're doing land nav, they help to know. So like if you're it only helps when you're more advanced at land nav. So if you're trying to plan a route that's not just a straight line. So if there's like a ridge coming together, and you know, like there's a creek here and you don't want to go through that rough terrain, you can use your knowledge of the terrain features and kind of create a route that goes around certain things. But for the most part at basic training, like it's not going to be that difficult. You can pretty much just shoot straight azimuths and just follow that. But let me see here. Yeah, so like there's a lot of stuff in here that I have on land nav, but honestly, from my personal experience doing multiple land nav courses, you don't have to be a pro at it. Okay, you don't have to be a pro at it. You just got to know how to plot your points and then correctly shoot your azimuth. So shooting your azimuth is when you hold the compass, and the degrees, you know, you just gotta make sure you're holding it. And if your azimuth is, it's kind of funny, like literally right now I'm pointing at 360 degrees or 0 degrees. That's kind of, so right there is directly north in front of me, so y'all are facing south. But anyways, if you can walk in that straight line, then you're good. You plot your points right, you shoot your azimuth right, and you walk in a straight line, you're going to be fine at laying down. You really will. Anyways, is the notes a requirement? Yes. So it is a requirement. Like, you don't have to take perfectly detailed notes, but like, they're going to force you to take notes. So if a drill sergeant is speaking to you to doing a class, like, you at least have to have your notebook out and act like you're writing notes. But it's not a requirement to write notes, but you got to act like you're writing something down. But I took detailed, or I basically wrote down everything. Anyways, thank you for all your YouTube videos. They helped me out a lot. Thank you. I'm trying to do the best I can to help you guys out, honestly. What's the longest a person can serve in the military? Probably it's close up to 40 years or so. The longest I've personally witnessed and talked to somebody who was in the military was 38 years. And that was my current command sergeant major, battalion command sergeant major, and he just retired. And he was awesome. But anyways, he was in for 38 years. And yeah, but like, once you reach, if you guys didn't know, what happens like when you reach colonel and general and all these other things, like let's say you make brigadier general, which is a 1-star general. Well, you've been in the military for, roughly 28 years. And so what they're going to say is basically you have, you have 4 more years to be in the military. If you haven't ranked up to a 2-star general, which is a major general, if you haven't ranked up by the end of those 4 years, then we're going to have to kick you out. So what will happen is they'll rank up in 3 years to major general, and then they're going to have like another 4 years that they can do. So I don't know the exact numbers, but it's kind of like that. Like, the higher rank you go, you have more time to be in and whatnot. So anyways, do you know if there is a 2-year contracts for any branch? I believe that they have done away with the 2-year contracts. I believe the shortest you can get now is 3. I believe, but I don't think they do 2 years anymore. Can you realistically live off of a retirement check, or would a job be necessary after 20+ years of service? So when you retire from the military, if you are active duty, okay, so first off, if you are reserves or National Guard and you retire after 20 years, you will not be able to live off of that paycheck. Number one, it's going to be a lot less than active duty retirement. Number two is you don't get your retirement when you're in the reserves until you turn 60. So if you join at 20, you retire at 40, then you don't get your retirement check until you're 60. The other thing about retiring is once you hit that 20-year mark, you can retire and get your retirement check if you're active duty. Well, each year after that, I believe you get 50% of your pay, 50% of your active duty salary pay for your retirement. Well, each year after that 20-year mark, you get 2.5% added on to that pay. So let's say you did 4 more years after 20 years, so you did 24 years. Well, then you're at 60% of your active duty pay. If you did 4 more years after that, you're at 28 years in the military. Then you're at 70% of that active duty pay. Now, if you are enlisted or officer and you're in the military for 28 years, you're going to be a really high rank. You're going to be sergeant major, or you're going to be a freaking lieutenant colonel, or whatever. So you're going to have a high check. So yes, if you do that, you can live off of that. But if you retire at 20 years, 50% of your pay, you might just be a major, maybe a lieutenant colonel, and that you can live off of it for sure, but it's just going to be it'll be difficult. So like, having a little side job, just something to do, I think is what most people do in that situation. Anyways, another thing, when you're in the military, you've always got something to do. You've always got a place to be. There's always a task for you to complete. And when you get out of the military, a lot of people, apparently, they need something to do. So that's why they pick up these little, they start a company or do whatever. So anyways. All right. Does the 42 Romeo military band deployed a lot, and can you join the Army without a high school diploma? You have to have at least a GED. You don't have to have a high school diploma, but you need a GED. But I don't know about the first question. Anyways. I smoke. Do I gotta quit? So Roger Ram says, I smoke. Do I gotta quit? Yeah, you're gonna have to quit when you get to basic. Okay, so you're not gonna get to smoke. You will get kicked out of basic training like the next day if you are caught with tobacco products. Or at the very least, you're going to get an Article 15, which they're going to fine you some money, and then they're going to take your pay for the next month, and you're going to be working for free for a month, basically. So, yeah, you got to quit. So you're gonna go through all. If you don't quit now, you're going to be going through the sucky stuff of basic training. You're going to be going through all this crap, and all the while you're going through all this crap, you're going to be going through withdrawals from your smoking. So I would strongly advise you to try and quit that well before basic training. But if not, you're not gonna have even the chance to get it. So eventually, like, you will quit. But so some people, also a little side note, some people that smoked before basic training, when you get to AIT, you can smoke again. So some people kind of go back into that and they'll still smoke, but some people do actually just hold it off and quit because they've already made it through that whole withdrawal thing. Because one of the reasons people don't quit smoking is because they can't make it through the withdrawals. But if you've been forced to quit for essentially 3 months, so I would say just keep it that way. All right, so our non-combat MOS arms. MOS AIT is physically demanding. For instance, AIT for 19 Delta versus a logistics special person. There's probably only like 3 or 4 or 5, I'd say less than 5 MOSs where their AIT is really physically demanding. The rest of them are not going to be, so I would say no. Like, I would say pretty much any AIT, like, it's not going to be that physically demanding. Anyways, I think I'll start a business with my cousin. He is a hard worker and does anything with motivation, and I will be a disciplined soldier. That will make us a deadly combo. Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So, Francisco, if you want to start a business, do you have any idea what you want to do yet? I'd like to know. What's the highest you scored on your ASVAB? I took the ASVAB once. I didn't study for it, but I got a 91, and that was good enough for any job. So, no need to take it again. Can you talk a little bit on the tattoo policy? Yeah, so currently the old tattoo policy, whenever I joined, it has been changed since, but when I joined, you couldn't have a tattoo that was bigger than your hand unless you were already in the military. So if I wanted to walk up to, you know, the recruiter's office and I had a big tattoo on my chest that just covered my chest, right? That's obviously bigger than my hand, so I couldn't join. Well, just like 2 years ago, they changed that, and now basically the tattoo policy is you can't have anything from your neck up and like the wrist down. So basically where my Apple Watch is right here, if you have a tattoo on your hand, if you have any tattoos on your face, or basically from your neck up. So basically what that is, like, if you're wearing your uniform, you should not be able to see your tattoo, but if you can, then you're not going to be able to join. And I think it froze. Did it froze? Yeah, okay. Anyways, so I'm going to answer 2 more questions for you guys. 2 more questions. And then I'm going to peace out. Anyways, when you get enlisted, do you get when blah 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 blah. Man, that's something I want to do. There's a video that I want to make at some point in the future. And in my videos, a lot of times I don't have like my bloopers, right? So whenever I get really tongue twisted and I can't speak, I basically just cut that off. And yeah, so I think a really funny video one day. I'll have to go back and look through the stuff, but yeah, like one of my like shoot 'em up bloopers. That will be funny. All right, so all right. Do a video on all the Army uniforms and when they should be worn. I could, I mean, there's really only like 3 uniforms. There's your PT uniform, there's your Army Combat Uniform, which now is your ACU or OCPs, and then you have your ASUs, which is your dress uniform. And the only difference with that is your Class A and your Class B, which is just the ASUs with a jacket and without a jacket. And you just wear that on all your formal events, and you wear the other stuff all the time. So maybe I'll make a video on it. I don't know. It's pretty. Infinite. Oh, sorry. I'm pretty sure I read your question, but I didn't answer it. Yeah, you're right. When you get enlisted, you get shipped far from home right away. You will get, when you enlist, you're going to ship wherever they send you. So they could send you super far away. They could send you to another continent. Or they could send you a couple hours down the road from wherever you live. So it literally just depends. It also depends on your MOS. So I don't know where every MOS is, but like certain jobs, you know, military intelligence, signal, infantry, mechanized units, they all have like different headquarters groups and different posts and stuff, and they're all concentrated there. So like you can look at a map, you can Google it, like where is the headquarters unit of all of the like where's like the engineering, all the engineering units at, right? And you can look that up and kind of see, you know, where you possibly will go. But anyways, do spouses get stationed together? Yeah, they can get stationed together. But anyways, that is it for this video. Just I hit an hour and a half, which is longer than I expected. So thank you guys for sticking with me. The 17 of you that are still here. Yeah, every time I say that I'm about to go, it froze again. Anyways, every time I say I'm about to go, like half the people leave, which is kind of funny. Oh my gosh, freaking A, man! I'm like about to leave, and you're making me. All right, so Sodi Pro wanted to donate before you left. Eat some effing Papa John's with this. All right, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, like that means a lot to me. Like, you should have done a little bit earlier, because then, I don't know, like, that freaking, God, that, like, oh my God, I don't even know how to speak whenever you guys donate anything, like, whether it's $1 or whatever, but, like, thank you so much. I'll definitely, I can do that for you. I'll eat some Papa John's. I'll eat some Papa John's with the food you gave me. You'll feed me for a couple days. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I'm going to have a video for you guys on Monday, and sometime next week I'm really planning on doing something special at an end of a video. So for those 18 of you right now, you're going to have to be early on the video, but I'm planning something, possibly, yes. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I just want to thank you guys so much for coming out. Like, freaking thank you guys a lot. So I got a video coming out for you guys on Monday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. You know, train hard. For those of you who are leaving, you know, next week, I wish you all the best of luck. For those of you leaving on Monday, you're gonna go kill it. I believe in you. You guys are awesome. Yeah, so that's it for this. Peace out, everybody. End.